Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Tuesday, June 3rd. We're back. We're breaking it down. We got a big slate to go over today. We're going to start off going through yesterday's perfect lineups, then jump into the winning lineups, and lastly, pitchers to consider today and some stacks. Before we get into it, come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all for one low price. Now let's dive in. Let's check out what we got here. Getting over first to the perfect lineup. I'm going to start with the perfect lineup on FanDuel. Once again, the FanDuel site unfortunately is giving me some issues. I just keep getting an error when I tried to look at yesterday's slate. But perfect lineup we do have on LineStar app. We got Logan Webb of the Giants absolutely shutting out my Padres. However, he still lost at least, but he put up 49. He had a game. We had a two-man Detroit stack, a two-man Minnesota stack, and then a few one-offs. Francisco Lindor keeps his hot streak. Joe Adell got it done. Lawrence Butler went nuts, and that rounded out your perfect lineup. And now let's check out the lineup on DraftKings. Get the housekeeping stuff done there. All right, our lineup on DraftKings. We went Aaron Savali. We went Logan Webb for the perfect lineup. Then we had a three-man Detroit stack and all one-offs. Detroit just put up like 13 runs. Of course, he needed them. And then the winning lineup went to Drunk on Pappy, who had 205.3. The perfect lineup score was 234, so very close there. 6-game slate with a stack there for the perfect lineup gets it done. So Drunk on Pappy, they had Webb, they have Flaherty. So another game or another slate where just chalky pitchers got it done. But they got a little different because they had the Minnesota and Detroit stack. Two teams you definitely needed. They put up 23 runs between them. And just going full bore on them is what you needed. So congrats to Drunk on Pappy. Now let's get into today's slate and see what we can get here. So get it on over. 12 games starts at 4:05 Pacific time, 7:05 Eastern Standard Time. And the high-owned pitcher is Spencer Strider on DK at 8.5K. We got a projection of 17.7. Consensus is 17.6. He went 90 pitches last time out. Only went 4.2 innings, but the pitch count is there, and he went to 97 in the first game. So I think the chance of him going, 5 innings is very, very realistic. The issue here is he hasn't fully put it together. He has a 5.22 ERA over his last 5 starts, which does go into last year and the slate where he got hurt, or the game he got hurt in. But all in all, he just hasn't totally been himself yet. He has an ERA of 5. That's just not Spencer Strider-ish, but we know the output he puts it out. We know that he has that big time K upside. He can be efficient. He can work deep into games. And I'm fine with some Spencer Strider today, even at high ownership in a tough matchup. The price point is just so low. It's hard to not want a little bit of it. I don't necessarily need to go, full bore, have a ton of him, but at his price point, he absolutely is interesting today, and I'm fine to have some. Next, we got Pablo Lopez. 9.3K, 19-point projection, 17-point consensus. Fine having some Pablo Lopez versus the Sacramento A's. We got a game total of 10 here. We got very nice hitting weather. We saw the hitting weather yesterday come out a little bit with a game that had, very high scoring in it. Winds are blowing out at 13 mile an hour towards left. Pablo Lopez has been extremely good. So we could limit, people hitting his pitches a little bit. But all in all, 3.27 FIP over his last 20, 3.45 over the last 5. I like Pablo Lopez. He's too good of a pitcher not to consider against an A's team that is a little streaky. They got it done kind of got it done yesterday. They lost the game, but still put up some runs versus a tough Joe Ryan. Now they got another tough pitcher today. I don't love the spot for the A's. I do prefer the Pablo Lopez side. But once again, in this matchup with nice hitting weather, in that minor league ballpark, I don't want to go too hard on Pablo Lopez. There are some other pitchers I am absolutely considering. I like him. If he's in my lineups, I'm fine with it, but I'm not trying to go super hard over the field on him. Next, we got Freddie Peralta, 16.6 point projection, 15-point consensus. He's 9K. He's in Cincinnati at Great American Small Park. Freddie Peralta hasn't totally been himself yet this year. He has a FIP just under 4 over the last 20, 4.38 over the last 5. K rate right around 25%. And StatCast data has not been great. Almost 40% fly balls, 31% hard contact, decent amount of barreled balls. About 10% of the balls are getting barreled, or of the batted balls are getting barreled, I should say. And the splits do support Cincinnati here a bit. However, the BVP data has been on Freddie Peralta's side where they're hitting 203, 36% K rate. There is some upside in this matchup for Freddie P, so I'm fine having a little bit, but I don't want to go super hard on him either. There's, 5-6 pitchers on this slate I like, and I'm probably just going to spread some ownership around all of them. Next, we got George Kirby, 8,200 versus the Baltimore Orioles. Don't love facing Baltimore with a righty, but George Kirby is very good. However, he's another pitcher working back from injury who has struggled, much like Spencer Strider has. Now, at 8.2K, very much considering to go with some of him. He went 78 pitches last time out. Would assume that he's able to go into the low 80s today. And over the last 20 games, he averages 89 pitches. So he is also a guy that can work efficiently and deep into games. Issue or a benefit for him is he is better at home. This game is at home. And one of the things that has been the case for him for a while is not only is he better at home, he has more strikeout stuff. He averages like 1 strikeout per 9 at home, whereas he's a little bit under that on the road. So we do have that benefit in this spot in Seattle at T-Mobile Park. BVP data, 53 plate attempts. They're hitting 231, striking out 24% versus Kirby. So I don't mind a little bit of Kirby at 8.2K, but once again, don't totally love the spot. That's kind of how it is. There's a lot of good pitchers on this slate, but a little spotty as far as if you like them or not. Next, we got Hunter Green versus Milwaukee. Great American Small Park. Once again, it is very warm there. He averages 30% more fantasy points at home, though. We know he has big strikeout stuff, and he's been great. 3.15 FIP over his last 20, 3.4 over the last 5, 32% K rate over that. And he's facing Milwaukee, who's striking out at 21% with a 237 average over the last 20 games. Absolutely interested in some Hunter Green here, and he's going a little lower owned than the other guys. He's also, we have him at a 21-point projection, so he is our second highest. His projection is also up there on consensus. I think it makes a lot of sense to get some Hunter Green today, as I think it makes some sense to go Carlos Rodon versus the Guardians in New York. Rodon has been back to his San Francisco self this year. He has been pitching extremely well. 2.25 FIP over his last 5, 3.75 over his last 20. K rate, once again, up to 30%. StatCast data isn't all that great, but I still don't mind some. The splits versus lefties for Colorado are heavily in Rodon's favor. 219 average, 86 ISO, 283 WOBA, striking out at 22%. Give me some Carlos Rodon. He is our highest projected pitcher at 23. Consensus is at the highest as well. I think it makes a ton of sense to go Carlos Rodon today, and he's a little lower owned. He's 14% owned. So definitely going to go there. As far as pivots, I think we got to talk about Yusei Kikuchi. He's a guy that has been popular this season. finally has fallen off of that popularity as he has shown his inconsistency as we had him in Toronto. But Boston, not great versus lefties. They strike out a lot, 28% clip. We got a 24.3% combined K rate on this spot. And Kikuchi's been a lot better recently, 3.58 FIP over his last 5 starts. If he can limit some content, he can definitely get it done at 6.7K on DK. I think it's an interesting bet to make there. And then Zach Gallen at only 8K, another interesting spot to me. He's just too good of a pitcher to be only 8K with the ceiling that he has, so I'm willing to take a little bit of chance on him at extreme low ownership. Now, let's get over to FanDuel, see what we got there before we can get on over to some stacks. On Carlos Rodon, highest owned, 38%. Then Freddie Peralta, like both of them. Kikuchi at 8,400, fine going there. Absolutely love a low owned. Hunter Green at 97 under. Will have some of him. Now, we got Lopez, Kirby, Strider, all 3 low owned. My issue with all 3 of them, or at least with Kirby and Lopez, is on FanDuel, we need that quality start. It's going to be harder for those 2, Strider, Kirby, on a little bit of a pitch count to get there. Can they? Absolutely. They're both efficient, or can be efficient, and can work in deeper into games. So I think they can be on your radar, and you can have a little bit of them, but there is that worry. Pablo Lopez, 9,800, in a tough spot, but one that can give up some ceiling games, so I don't mind sprinkling in some Pablo Lopez there as well. And 8,500. Zach Gallen, slight interest as well. Tyler Wiemann, he's been very, very good this season. My issue with him is while he can work deep into games, that K rate isn't really there, and the chance of him getting 50 plus at 9K is just way lower than other guys around his price point, so I'm probably not going to go there. Now let's get over to some stack attacks before we can round this out today. So our high owned, we got the Royals, 63% owned, 5-man stack on DraftKings. We got Jack going to be in the lineup today. He got called up. He is not popping up in these stacks right now, but he is extremely interesting today and will boost that Royals 5-man stack as a whole. I'm fine having some of them versus Palante. Palante is giving it up a little bit to lefties. The bullpen behind him isn't that great, so it makes some sense to go there. Minnesota, you got to talk about Minnesota. Beto hasn't been great. 8.59 FIP over the last 5, 4.57 over the last 20. And then we got great hitting weather and the smaller ballpark. So definitely have some interest in Minnesota. Plus, they just put up 10 last night. So let's stay hot. Next, highest projected lineup. So we got Dodgers, Arizona, Minnesota, Yankees. Milwaukee's popping up a little bit. Dodgers make a ton of sense versus McGill. McGill has been good. 3.43 FIP over his last 20, 4.36 over his last 5. The K rate is up there, but it is still this Dodgers line. It makes a ton of sense. They're higher projected just because of the bats that they have. Some very good ones. Strider, Arizona. Strider hasn't been totally himself. 5.22 FIP over his last 5. Makes some sense if Strider is going to be high owned to have some leverage, low owned Arizona bats for a team we know that can get hot and put up some numbers. Yankees popping up against Tanner Bybee. Tanner Bybee is giving it up a little bit to lefties. And then the Aaron Judge from the right side. So makes some interest to want to go Bybee. We got a lot of very good left-handed hitters, pick on Bybee. Got a lot of lefties in Yankees that can swing it, so interested there. Highest value stacks, we got White Sox 2.6x versus unsure of who they will go against, but there is some nice wind blowing out, or some nice weather here we can go with. I don't mind a little bit of Chicago. However, I just do have to say the Chicago team is doesn't give you the ceiling other spots can. Don't mind a little bit, just don't want to go too hard. Think Baltimore versus Kirby. If Kirby still is not on his stuff, maybe they can get hit a little bit. But the bullpen behind Kirby is solid. Pablo Lopez, another guy I don't love to pick on, but there is hitting weather, so I can see going there a little bit. Toronto, versus Christopher Sanchez. Sanchez is much better at home than he is away. So maybe you can get to him a little bit when he is away. There's a little bit of interest. Not my favorite spot. Once again, highest ceiling. We got Milwaukee. We got Yankees. We got Dodgers. Have talked about all of them. The highest leverage. We have Padres versus Slate and Root. Padres really haven't been swinging it all that good right now, but I don't mind trying to go with them a little bit in, pivotal matchup versus the Giants. Rupp, 3.69 FIP over his last 20 starts, 3.38 over the last 5. Isn't a guy I love to pick on, but we know this Padres lineup has some upside. Milwaukee, and then ATL. Milwaukee, we talked about ATL versus Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen has a FIP of 5 over his last 5. And Braves are a very potent lineup. With Acuna back in the lineup, it makes them a lot more palatable. So don't mind going there. Clicking on our teams tab, Minnesota is at 5.7. Clearly the highest. It is like a Colorado Rockies difference as far as the implied run total. 4.9 is next with the Braves over Gallen. And both of those bullpens you can absolutely pick on. St. Louis is next at 4.9 versus Lorenzen. Dodgers, 4.8 versus McGill. Red Sox at 4.7 versus Kikuchi. This is one of those spots that I like to go both sides. Kikuchi can absolutely get got and give it up. And then behind him is a very poor bullpen in a very, very interesting spot with nice warm temps in Fenway. Detroit, 4.7 versus Shane Smith. Poor bullpen behind him. Makes some sense to want to go there, but Shane Smith is a much better pitcher than what we saw yesterday. And this Philadelphia spot versus Bowden Francis. Bowden Francis has been getting lit up versus lefties. Some very potent lefties in that lineup for the Phillies, so I have some interest there. Yankees versus Bybee. Bybee's been good over the short term. Longer term, a little hit or miss. And that's going to do it for us today. I hope you guys have a good one. We will be back with more tomorrow. Hope you have a good one. Please come join us at LineStar. Talk to y'all later. Peace.